My day's going bad, guys. But Real Madrid fans, is yours too? Damn. 5-2. Atletico versus Real in the Madrid derby. And it's not been that long since Madrid have held five. I mean, this time last year, actually, I think they actually held five against Barcelona early in the calendar year. But Julian Alvarez, man. What a player Julian Alvarez is. He's up there with the 100 million plus players. Easily, without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm glad that he took that jump from City to Atletico, because now he's a staple in their team. And today, actually, Diego Simeone approaches it. I think he approached the game slightly different. Slightly different. 4-4-2, Griezmann to the bench, Soloth on, which you guys know Soloth last season was that magical player for them off the bench. Scored, I think, late to be to give them a 1-1 draw against Real Madrid last season, and has scored late for them against Barca last season, and scores again today against Real Madrid to get them an equaliser in the game. But let's actually talk about I'm going to start with Kylian Mbappe because for me, Kylian Mbappe, I don't like to label teams as, this team belongs to X player. But I watched Bellingham today and I watched Vinny today, and I've watched over the course of the season so far, I've watched Mbappe. And I really think Mbappe has improved. And it's crazy to say that because Mbappe is a phenomenal player. But I just think his all-roundedness, just as a player, I think he's better with his decisions, better with his runs, better with his passes. His shooting is clinical. He's just all-rounded. I think he's just a lot better. And last season, he had a great season statistically. But people were writing him off so early in the season. His move to Real Madrid, was it made for him? But he's already showing, I think, that Real Madrid is this kind of staple of team that he can be at, and he can impact games for them. Gets the first goal for them. A great assist from Arda Guler. Another young player who I think Real Madrid have a superstar on their hands. And sometimes you might have too many superstars in your team, because you've got Bellingham, you've got Vinny, and Vinny gets an assist as well for that second goal. Arda Guler with a phenomenal finish. But I'm still figuring out, in my opinion, when I watch Real Madrid, I still kind of figure out, what is Vinny's role? What is he there to do? How is he there to impact the game? Can he take it up a notch and give you a 8, 9, 10 out of 10 performance consistently? Because I don't think we've really seen that from Vinicius. But Kylian Mbappe, I think his all-roundedness has improved, and just all-rounded, I think he's a better player. If Real Madrid are able to win stuff this season, La Liga, Champions League, Copa del Rey, whatever it is, if they're able to win stuff, and I think statistically Mbappe will have a good season. I think he will hit that 30-40 goals all competitions quite comfortably. And I think a big part of the Ballon d'Or next year will be who wins what in the season, but also who wins the World Cup. And if France have a good World Cup, he might be able to throw his name into the hat. But it's still quite early to have Ballon d'Or shouts, given the fact that Dembele has just won the Ballon d'Or for last season. Let's talk about that backline. That Real Madrid backline stinks. It really stinks. I think over the course of 90 so minutes, I don't think there was anyone for me that stood out. Militao, going down for injured, and then comes off at half time and bringing on Asensio. I think there is no coincidence, guys, in my opinion, that Real Madrid's demise in the game started when Asensio came on. I know it sounds bad to say that, but I don't rate Asensio as a player. I think last year he showed time and time again he's got howlers in him. And today, I want to single out one particular moment, because there was quite a few moments. But there was a moment where, Asensio comes on, obviously. Tchouaméni goes centre-back. Asensio goes right-back. Carvajal goes off. And Julian Alvarez just had a field day against him. He had a field day against him. Not only that, the fifth goal that Griezmann scores, Tchouaméni, poor decision making in my opinion. Again, rookie defending from him. He's not a centre back, so he's kind of not sure how to position himself. But he let Griezmann run across him into space, and maybe he anticipated that either A, Griezmann ain't that quick, and B, Asensio will be able to get back in time because Griezmann ain't that quick. But it's just a great pass in. Griezmann, just a great finish. You know what kind of player he is. He does it consistently. He's done it for a long part of his career. But again, defensively, I watched Mascara at Arsenal, and I think, should Real Madrid have gone for him? I know that Real Madrid, I'm going to be honest, have started well this season, and I think this is maybe just a blimp in Xabi Alonso's spell. I don't think it's going to be a huge disruptor, because I think they'll be able to come back from this in the Champions League and into the next couple of games of the season. as it approaches. But I just look at that backline and I think, obviously, with the injuries, that there's quite a few injuries. Trent is out injured, Rudiger's out injured, Militao could be out injured now. I can't fathom the idea of Real Madrid having to start Asensio, whether it's at right back or central centre back role, one of the centre back roles. I can't imagine that. Then you're gonna have to play Tchouaméni there. Dean Howson gets done, I think, for that Sorloth header. I think Sorloth, again, the way he reads moments, maybe that's why he's been so crucial for Atletico and Diego Simeone, because he positions himself so well between Alvaro and Howson for that goal. He gets in front of Alvaro, who's not known for jumping, not known for his aerial battles or aerial duels, especially against a big man like Sorloth. And Howson is just really caught in no man's land. He's not really reading what's coming behind him, and it's just a pinpoint header. And then Julian Alvarez, for me, takes the game by the scruff of the neck. And this is the kind of stuff that you need your Viniciuses and your Bellinghams and your Mbappes to do. There's only so much, for me, that I think Mbappe can do in that front line. He's going to need support from his supporting cast. But Julian Alvarez does what I think they say jugador. Excuse my language, guys. I'm butchering it. But that's what he is. He's a player and a half. And so many people questioned when he left for that price tag, if it was the right price tag, if he was making the right decision to leave City, having won a treble, having won a World Cup. But he's just showing you guys, I think, that he's a top striker in Europe. I mean, the first one, great pen. Second, free kick. Courtois gets a hand to it, but it's so powerful. It's too accurate. It's too powerful. It's too crucial from Alvarez. Courtois can't do nothing, and I think Courtois have made some good stops in the game. But for me, you never have a good game if you concede 5 goals, no matter how you concede those 5 goals. It's in my opinion, never. I can never say a goalkeeper has had a good one when he's conceded 5. But Julian Alvarez, for me, punishes Real Madrid, punishes that backline, and could have had more. Really, Atletico could have had more throughout the game. And I genuinely feel like when they got that second goal, went into the half, it's 2-2. And that's why I said it's no coincidence that when Asensio came on, suddenly they go on to score 3 goals. I'm joking, or I'm kidding, guys. But I just think that out of the second half, they come out of the break. I think Atletico came out and put their foot on the gas, and Real Madrid were a lot more pragmatic with their approach, trying to break down Atletico. And there's some things in this world, guys, that are destined to happen, and that's Diego Simeone hitting you with a tough mid to low block and then hitting you in transition. And that's exactly what happened. And Simeone was about to cry. The guy looked like he was about to cry when Alvarez scored that free kick. But you know who I want to talk about? And you know what? The penalty might overshadow it a little bit. Getting hooked at the 60th minute might overshadow it a little bit. I think if he works on his defensive attributes, I think he will be a good player. He'll be a phenomenal player. Arda Guler is magic. Really, really. Arda Guler is magic. Real Madrid, the fact that Ancelotti was benching this kid, maybe he had to keep him grounded, keep him humble. But I really like the way that Xabi Alonso has been using Arda Guler. And he scored that finish. Firstly, the cross into Mbappe is a great ball in, the little low-driven ball in. And that finish that he makes off the back of a Vinicius assist is a great finish. Calling for it. Again, reading the game well, knows where to make the run into the middle of the box. Calling for it so Vinicius can see him, hand up in the air, and then takes it in his stride and slots it away. Oblak doesn't stand really much of a chance to finish that because it's just a great finish. And then on the flip side, so he scores a goal, gets an assist, then gives away a penalty. And again, for me, it was just rookie defending. He kind of loses his man. And from there, you've created a degree of separation when you've lost your man. And it's a clear header at that chance. So he kind of puts a foot in, high foot, hits the head. That's a penalty. That's a penalty in everywhere but the Premier League. So I'm not surprised that was given. And again, I know that penalty will kind of overshadow it, but I think Arda Guler he's a good talent that Real Madrid have on their hands. He likes to drop into these little pockets of space, in the little half spaces. And then you had Carvajal kind of providing that overlap and holding the width. And that allowed Fede Valverde to also become more central. So again, Xabi Alonso utilising his players that are better on the ball in those half spaces, in those little pockets of space. And Arda Guler is one of the better players on the ball for Real Madrid. Still young, still has a lot to learn, but I think he's a great player. And Real Madrid have a great talent on their hands. Bellingham was okay for me. There wasn't really much else again from Bellingham, in my opinion. Put in some good tackles, some good interceptions, some good recoveries. Won a lot of his duels, which he done that well. But just outside of that, he hasn't really impacted the game that I would expect the way that Bellingham would. But that's more so for me the fact that I think Atletico didn't give Real Madrid much space to breathe when they did. And I'm not gonna lie, after that Alvarez goal, I think they sat back. I think Atletico sat back, kept their defensive shape, and it was just tough for Real Madrid to break them down. And that's the thing, when coming into this Madrid derby, with a team that can go from mid block to low block to counter attack to transition, to build up, whatever it is under Diego Simeone, you've got to take your chances, and also you have to try your best to prevent it. And I just think with Real Madrid, they've got a good front line, they've got a good attack, they've got a good coach, but I think defensively is what's going to let them down throughout the season if they keep getting these injuries. I think Fede Valverde as well was not that great today. I don't think he was that great, but he's playing in this role, in this central role with Tchouaméni, Camavinga coming off the bench as well. Xabi Alonso is just really trying to make do with what he's got. But Julian Alvarez for me, man of the match. Shout out to Simeone as well, who had a great game. But Julian Alvarez, what a player! If the scoreline wasn't so dramatic, I would have said that Arda Guler was a phenomenal player throughout the game as well. But he played 1 hour. He played 1 hour of the 90 minutes. Julian Alvarez, great player, great goals, just causing a nuisance for Real Madrid. And I'm really looking forward to the more matchups that are going to come between Atletico and Real Madrid, but also obviously the El Clásicos to come, the Barca and Madrid, Atletico matchups to come. There's some great matchups coming up over the next couple of months in La Liga. And if this is just a taste of what the big teams have to offer, I think we'll be in for a treat. We'll be in for a treat. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here.